Hey, what's up, people? This is Ike Love, creator and author of the blog, The Viable Alternative, which is an inspirational blog where I share the wisdom and insights gained along my path to becoming a greater, stronger version of myself. And if you want to read more on the blog, you can click under the window if you're on YouTube where it says Show More, and you'll see a link for www.theviablealternative.com, which I will be updating because I thought of something I really want to share, but I want to write it and not share it by video. Anyway, so yeah, I still haven't updated yet. But anyway, so what I want to talk about today is what I've learned about overcoming a scarcity or poverty mentality. Now, oh, excuse me a minute. I'm cooking something here, so I want to make sure that it doesn't go over and burns up, because I got to bring this for lunch to work during the week. Anyway, oh yeah, so things I learned about overcoming a poverty mentality or scarcity mentality. So now, I just want to preface before I get into this whole thing. I want to preface this with this. I personally believe that if you want to learn about wealth from somebody, you go to someone wealthy. You don't go to somebody who can't rub two pennies together or has always struggled with wealth or money. You go with someone who is wealthy. Or even if they're broke now, maybe they've been wealthy before, they lost their fortune, and they're clawing their way back up. I mean, I will learn from them because they know how to build wealth. Not how to keep it, but how to build it. But, essentially you want to learn with somebody who's already there. Same thing if you want to learn how to get in shape. You don't go to somebody who calls himself a personal trainer, but they have a pot belly. You want to learn someone that is in great shape. So, that being said, I'm not qualified to teach about wealth. I'm still trying to overcome a scarcity mentality. I mean, this isn't exactly a kitchen you see from MTV Cribs or Lifestyles of Rich and Famous, But, for those of you who are working on overcoming a scarcity mentality, that's something I'm in the trenches with. As well, and I have wisdom and insights to share. I've been in therapy for the last 4 years because I believe a lot of our habits that we can't seem to overcome, a lot of them deal with trauma. And so we're like stuck to these habits because of trauma. And so that being all said, yeah, I do believe I'm qualified to talk about overcoming the scarcity mentality because I'm finding and discovering patterns in myself, behaviors, and just like trapped emotions and things like that have kept me in a scarcity mentality and scarcity life and stuff like that. So I had an amazing revelation this past week that I'd like to share with you. And what I want to say is that for a number of years, for a while, I've been I want to become I'm going to become wealthy. I just have obstacles to overcome, and so one of the ways I do is I listen and I read books from people who are already successful and wealthy. So that I can adopt their mindset. I can imbibe their mindsets and their habits and their attitude and how they see the world. So, but here's an interesting thing. So I was watching YouTube channel last week, and the guy was giving steps of how to become wealthy and what to do, and so on and so forth. But the weird thing is that as I was listening to him, I wasn't really listening. Like I was hearing the words, but the thing of the matter is I wasn't really paying attention. The reason why I wasn't paying attention because number one, I just was filled with a lot of shame. I said I have a certain, I guess, standard or status. I won't say standard because if I had a standard, I wouldn't be engaging it. I would be engaging it. But all right, maybe yeah, a standard. I thought I wasn't living up to my standards of behavior of things I should be doing. And so, as this guy was talking about giving people advice about how to build wealth, I was just filled with so much shame. Oh, you're a loser because you didn't do this last week. You didn't do that. You did this. You woke up too late. You did this. You did that. And I was just wallowing in this whole shame. So I wasn't hearing the whole thing he was saying. Then the next thing also was the fear. You know, he was giving steps to do, and I just felt that I couldn't do it. You know, I kind of, especially when you're struggling with something, you feel so overburdened by the thing you're struggling with. You don't, you just don't feel you can overcome it. You don't feel you have the capability. You actually fear it. So, I'm going through certain situations now. So I was dealing with the shame and I also was dealing with the fear. I was fearing my situation. I was fearing, basically, what he was saying was triggering more fear because he was saying do A, B, C, and D. And I was thinking in my head, oh, I can't do it. It's too hard. And blah, blah, blah. I'm going through the situation now. It's too hard for me. I've always failed in the past. And there's no way I can overcome it. And, I'm just too scared to try because I'm going to fail. And it's just too big as me. It's more powerful for me. It's kind of like, the kid that's faced with confronting a bully. It thinks that, or the child will think that the bully's too strong for him, so he's scared. Well, my financial situation represented the bully, and I was afraid to confront it because I just felt I wasn't strong enough. So I was living with these two emotions of fear and shame and trying to watch this video, but both these emotions that had overwhelmed me. And so here it was, the guy was giving advice on how to overcome scarcity. But here I am blocked from listening to him because of the two emotions of fear and shame. And so, when we talk about poverty mentality, it's kind of like a big nebulous type of term, you know, um, and it's kind of an abstract type of mental thing. But if you really want to deal with it, at the bare bones of the whole issue, we have to get to the emotions that are involved that cause us to behave a certain way. So here I am, me, sitting watching to a video, but I couldn't hear what was being said because of the shame I felt of not living up to my expectations and my standards, and the fear of not feeling myself capable of overcoming the situation. So I think it's very important that we start to get in touch. Poverty mentality is just a manifestation of the emotions we deal with internally. And we have to get in touch with the emotions that we are struggling with that keep us tied to a certain pattern of behavior that produce the scarcity reality that we live in. And here's another interesting thing I learned while I was listening to this video. See, about a couple of days before I was listening to videos, in this video I was listening to, it was like on Thursday or Friday of last week. But earlier on in the week, I actually was feeling good about myself. I was in a momentum. I had stuck to certain things. I'm working on another book now, and I was consistent with that. I was doing other things, and I was feeling this energy momentum. And as I felt the momentum, I said to myself, how about this I need to do, and that I need to do to conquer my current situation, this and that. And like the idea of confronting and doing all these things I was hitherto apprehensive of confronting and taking action towards, all were coming now to the forefront of mind. Like, let's do this now. Let's do this. Like, I saw myself in a different light. Due to the momentum, I was vibrating at a higher energy level. And therefore, I was like inspired to confront certain problems. I was thinking to myself, I would like to think about what my success will turn up like. Like, I'm inspired to see how I can overcome these challenges. And I'm inspired to see how I uniquely can bring success into fruition, So, like, obviously, I do have it in me. I did have it in me to confront these problems. But when I was watching this video a couple of days later, I had sunken now, I had sunken and now had gone back to my familiar mindset and way of being where, I was filled with shame and filled with fear. So and that's when it dawned on me. I was like, wait a minute. Earlier in the week, I wasn't thinking like this. If I had been the way I was earlier in the week, I would have been watching this video and been like, yeah, hell yeah, let's formulate a plan now. Let's go and do this. Let's just go and conquer this, And so this is what this whole thing leads me to do, some actionable things that I need to do and maybe follow in your life if you have found yourself having the same or similar experience. Maybe different emotions tie you to poverty, like guilt or whatever. But the point of the matter is, if you're dealing with a certain emotion, I had to ask myself, well, what are the things that I can do that will make me go back into momentum so now I can go back and confront my issues and my challenges and my obstacles so I can overcome them now and overcome this scarcity reality, you know? And so I start to think to myself, what can I put in my environment? What actions can I take? Like different things. How can I cultivate an environment that will encourage my momentum? So therefore, I will be vibrating at a level high enough now that I will be able to go and confront these issues and challenges that are blocking me from going to the next level, wealth wise. So yeah, a lot of times when we feel we can't do something. Oh, let me just go there. Yeah, a lot of times when we feel that we can't do something, it's just because we don't have enough momentum. Many times when we have momentum, you build momentum in a small area in life, and as you build momentum, you start to look at other areas in your life that were hitherto a challenge to you or hitherto seemed difficult and impossible for you. And you say, why didn't I challenge that? When I do that, I did this, let me do that. You start small, and as you build a momentum, you build up to want to transfer momentum to doing other things in life. So I encourage you, if you're dealing with a poverty mentality, scarcity mentality, and you're cognizant of it, number one, go start getting in touch with the emotions that have been keeping you there. Because it's just poverty mentality, whatever. That's just a nebulous concept. On an emotional level, what is that? What emotions are basically cultivating this mentality? What emotions are actually keeping you bound to the perpetual behavior that produces this continual reality? And then what you want to do is you want to take proactive steps to bring yourself in a state of momentum. And I mean, you don't have to do this one huge swoosh, but just little things you can do on a consistent level, from changing your environment to the people you associate with to the actions you take on a consistent level. All these things will help you start to build momentum. And then you're going to start to get the clear vision and understanding in your mind and insight in your mind on how to properly deal with your challenges. And you feel capable of doing them as well. Because as the saying says, all is possible to him or her that believes. So, as you build momentum in your life, you will cultivate the belief in yourself that will propel you now to go and face these challenges. It's just the challenge is being able to stay in a consistent level of momentum. Because if you're not in momentum, you just don't see things properly, I mean, I know people talk about, oh, take action, take action, take action. But if you're not in the right state, and I believe, yeah, you can have excuses. Like I said, sometimes you're too lazy to go to the gym and everything like that, but you get up and bring your behind there anyway. But I'm talking about when you are clouded, like for me, with the emotion of shame or fear or guilt, because the shame also had the guilt. I felt guilty about moving forward because I messed up too many times. You don't even see the action you're supposed to take. It's all shrouded by these emotions and everything like that. It's all clouded and everything like that. So you don't properly see the actions that are necessary to take. It's kind of like you're just living in a different world. It's kind of like you're in a trance. It's like in a trance. Because it's funny, when I've gotten momentum in my life, I'm like, what the hell where the hell, where would I have been sleeping or something like that? Look at all this stuff out there and everything like that. And I was sitting here in my own little shell of fear. I was like in a trance. It's like, sheesh, like what the hell? Like look around me. Let's go get this. And, like, it's just about now knowing ourselves enough, having enough self-awareness. This is why self-awareness is very important in the process, in the path of becoming a greater, stronger version of yourself. Having the self-awareness needed to be able to fulfill your needs in such a way that you can start to create the conducive environment and also take the appropriate actions that will bring you in a state of momentum that will carry you now to go and change your reality. So I hope all this helps. Again, I don't have anything to teach you about wealth yet. I'm still learning. I actually have said to myself, I will write a book when I do conquer this, because I do already have some insights along the way of lessons I learned about money and wealth. But the story hasn't finished yet. I still have to get myself there. but then I'll have a bunch of stuff to share. I know right now I don't have the necessary credibility to do that, which is understandable because I'm not there yet. But, what I can do is just share with you insights I've learned as I'm in the trenches with you and lifting myself out. So again, I said this before. I hope all this helps. I really, really do. And if you want to read more on my blog, go to www.theviablealternative.com. You can follow me on Twitter at theviablealt. And yeah, if you like what I had to say, please click on like. Please, leave a nice, warm, fuzzy comment. Please hit the subscriber button. And if you feel anybody can get anything from this, please share. So anyway, I got to go and turn this oven off and get my food and get the hell to bed. So take care, God bless, and peace.